All right, guys. Hey, it's Liyah with Family Heritage Living. I wanted to do a video today. Oh, wow, for several reasons. First off, it's another topic on homemaking. And I know it's like, okay, why would I do another video on homemaking? Didn't I just do a 25-minute video? Well, if facts be known, I've done several videos on homemaking. I don't suppose this one will be the last. In fact, they say when you do a YouTube channel, to do what speaks to you, what you're comfortable with, what you're good at, or what you have a passion for. And I suppose our channel, Family Heritage Living, is called Family Heritage Living because that's what we have a passion for. We have a passion for families. We have a passion for homes. We have a passion for husbands and wives to be strong and for families to be strong. And if you've watched our older videos concerning the home, you know that we feel that homemakers have had it hard, especially, just like the last video said, since the 90s. So I wanted to reach out and do another video because I really feel the importance of something that for those of you that have struggled to feel validated as a homemaker, there's some things we need to consider. We talked last time about the trendy perspective of being a homemaker, the trad wife. And I think the important thing about this is to realize that, it's not the trad homemaker, it's the trad wife. And there's a difference because what we're seeing with our culture is the wife is focused on her husband or her children, but it really is more about self and presenting oneself. When a homemaker is looking, their first thing is about their family or their home and their husband. And we talked about the difficulty of looking at our society while we do this because there's all these expectations set before us that are often too hard to meet. We're never going to do it. I think the important thing though is for people like us in our income bracket. Maybe I was surprised to find out how many homemakers felt the same way that I do, that are my age. And it's almost like the exact same experience with feelings in our youth as far as being silenced, not feeling validated. And I found over the years that even though I learned not to depend on validation from others, there was still something inside of us that just said, can't we just feel like we've made the right choice, that we're doing the right thing, the good thing? And yet our society would never let us feel that way. We always felt less or demeaned. And there comes a time, though, when we have to shake all those things that society has projected onto us and realize that the choice that we made to be a homemaker was the right choice. And it's a choice that maybe we were proud of that choice within ourselves, despite what was going on in our culture towards us. But there's a time, and I think the time is now, that we need to not just be proud, but we need to show that we're proud by how we talk about it with others, how we don't try to hide, in a conversation or feel like when someone's talking about their bank account or their job that feeling less, because it's a shame to waste ourselves and our experiences. I know this is not popular, especially even for women my age. I am telling you what, some of you will get this because you know exactly what I'm talking about, where some of you will not. It might seem a little far-fetched, but there is such a stigma with being a homemaker. And it is impossible to lift up one group of people without another group feeling like they've been put down. Now, sometimes that's true. Okay, sometimes that's totally true. Let's take homemakers, for example. When the feminist movement came through and is still trying to, sweeping through this land, yes, they definitely put down homemakers, and we're still there today. Back when feminism really started to push for the woman to be out of the home. And as time went by and there became, philosophers on the topic of feminism, it was presented to women that you could choose to be something else other than a homemaker, which is true. I mean, there were many women that, even back then, I'm going to go back to the time like 20 and 30s, as there was still predominantly a large number of women at home, were realizing that maybe there was other things that they wanted to do. And it was presented in such a way that there was some choice. Well, as time went by, as most things often happen, it wasn't that really was what was meant to be as a choice. It was meant to be as the only option was for women to leave the home to work. And we can see as the culture shifted for what had been for centuries a noble career to be at home, the most important career a woman could choose, it was now a dirty thought process that a woman would want to consider being at home. And I mean, I'm gonna destroy her name. I think it's Simone. I think it's like Simone Beauvoir. She was a well-known feminist, and her philosophy, and I'm just paraphrasing her statement. She wrote books and did debates and stuff, talks. So she's well known. But her theory was, or her point was, women should not have the option to not work because too many women would choose to be at home. And when you look at that and realize that things are much more deep-seated than just a woman having that option to choose to work, the foundation of our home is everything. It is what keeps a culture. When we have strong homes, we have strong churches. If we have strong churches, we have a strong culture. If we have a strong culture, we have a strong country. Just look at our country right now. Look at our homes. Look at our culture. There has been such a war on our culture that has come, and because I'm a Christian, I believe strongly in spiritual warfare, and there is a demonic force that we can go back into the Word and see from the Word the plan to destroy our connection in relationships to each other, and ultimately our connection with God. And that's where it had to begin. First start hitting the homes, then get the Word out of the schools, disconnect the homes and the children, and let there be no clear guidance within the school system of right or wrong. And we've got a culture that is totally confused. The other thing too, you can be a homemaker without having children. And in my instance, I have children. So I go back to another domino effect of this type of mentality that has attacked the home. It had to not only attack the homemaker, but it also had to attack the men. And I have 4 boys and a wonderful husband. And it makes me angry beyond words that when I hear women and other men devalue masculinity and devalue the roles that men have. I mean, as a homemaker, and I've spent a lot of time evaluating historically and currently how the effect of getting the woman out of the home has affected our culture. But I have seen clearly that it had also to destroy our men. And the only way that we can get back what somebody has taken from us, is to do those things. Not do what they do, but do the role that they tried to take from us. My husband, he has presented to our children the best example of a man that he could in the circumstances that he's been given in this life, and his role as a father, and his role as a Christian, and his role as a provider. I feel that as a homemaker, I have needed to do the same for them, so that when they are ready to marry, when they're ready to make their lives, that they have certain things that they value and are looking for a woman. And I know some of you, I'll get some comments on that one. But if you don't have children, your husband still values, and if your husband is a true Christian, godly man, he's going to value your work at home. Unfortunately, the problem is again, so much of what should be taught in order to value our roles has actually been demeaned and shown in a negative light. We need to stand up in our culture. We need to stand up, if it's just within our own lives, and show it's hard to do your best work when you don't feel like you can value what your work is. And, you know, the reality is our home is our most important foundation, our most important structure within our culture. So if you're somebody that's looking for that validation, validate yourself. Know that you've chosen the right path. And obviously, if you're a stay-at-home wife or a stay-at-home mother, chances are pretty good you've made this decision with your husband, so your husband supports this role. I know there are some women that the husband doesn't, and that's a whole nother conversation. But you know, for those of you whose husbands do support that role, remember, he's the one you're needing to please. Your children are the ones you're needing to take care of and please. Find your value in the fact that you have chosen the most honorable and highest calling that has been given on this earth. I believe that God places an extreme amount of value on not just the home, but the homemaker. So, all right. Well, this video didn't quite go exactly as I had hoped. You hear my goat kids out back here crying. They're ready for their choice chore time. Okay. So those of you who have hung with me this long, I wanted to announce this. I'm going to be doing a Q&A video. It will not be live. I will be taking questions that have been sent to me either through comments or emails. I have several of them that I am collecting, and it's just going to be, I think, quicker if I do it via video. If you have a question that you would like me to answer, please send it or leave a comment here under this video, and I will be happy to see if it's something I can answer, and we'll do so in a video next week. So, all right. Well, you guys have a great weekend, and we will talk soon. God bless.